Bonjour mes amis, hi guys. Today we have a very special treat courtesy of two people. One is a very well-known collector here in Hong Kong who has something to do with the creation of this watch, and the other is of course Simon, our good friend on the channel, who got acquainted with this collector and managed to have him lend it to us for a quick video. So we're going to talk today about the LYRIQUE Etude numéro 1. Bonjour Simon.
Bonjour mes amis. Hi guys. It's a genuine pleasure to have this watch in our hands. So big shout out to my new friend, fellow member of some of the two private watch club here in Hong Kong. So he kindly landed us this timepiece today so we can manipulate and talk about it. So yeah, a real pleasure to be holding this LYRIQUE Etude numéro 1.
The way this watch was born, if I'm not mistaken, is basically a group of watch enthusiasts centered around Bill Saunders and his YouTube channel WatchArtSci. If you don't know it yet, you should check it out. So Bill is all about the movements, the calibers, lots of interesting videos, and together with this group of enthusiasts, they decided to have a project to create a watch from scratch, basically. So to commission the movement, the case, the design, and put together something that would just please them and that would buy at cost. So very limited number of pieces. This 70 pieces. Indeed.
So basically, as you rightfully mentioned, there was a group of enthusiasts that all came together around Bill Saunders. That was around 2021, if I'm not mistaken. And those 51 watch enthusiasts collaborated together with the help of a designer, Mathieu Allègre, who helped them to put together those different ideas into this concept watch, and 70 pieces were created amongst those 51 watch enthusiasts.
But of course, Simon, the design had to follow a movement, a caliber, and something what's really unique. You could say this is fairly similar to a startup brand, a micro brand. But micro brands tend to just take an off-the-shelf movement, but this is not what we have here.
So yes, as a matter of fact, the movement that we're currently looking at is the AGH 6801 handmade movement specifically for this watch. And apparently it won't be reusable in any other watch. There is a so-called exclusivity for this LYRIQUE model. And this movement was created
by Agenor.
Agenor.
It features, there's a great video from, of course, Bill Saunders himself, describing the different elements that they have patented technology in this, for example, into the winding, the two winding wheels here. Different, it's better if you watch the video. The other patterns here around the balance, and of course, but all put together in something that you will only find in this very watch by Agenor. And then the finishing is absolutely gorgeous for the price, the cost that this watch ended up at, which is around 10,000 US dollars. It's a manual wind, of course. Huh?
Yeah, manual wind. The movement itself, it's 21,600 semi-oscillation per hour.
Oh, this is smooth.
The winding must be...
So the winding is very special, as I said, because of those two little wheels. They are smooth, but still have a nice rubbery resistance. Ooh. That feels good.
today. I think really we wanted to hold this watch in our hands, let you know how we feel about it, and to be honest, it's magnificent. Like maybe turn it again so we look at the dial.
On the dial side, of course, the design is incredible, and the case manufactured by Frutilainen and Chapkin.
It's a white lacquer dial by Metalem. If you pay attention at the dial,
White lacquer.
it's magnificent.
Sublime, beautiful choice there of the mirrors, the
Very
position.
Art Deco.
Yeah, the positioning of the second dial, which is sunken in as well. Love the rail track as well. The hands. Of course, you have to like Bordeaux red. It's a rich color of red. I think it looks. I like it personally. You have the name of the watch, LYRIQUE, on the buckle even. This is the original strap that the watch comes on. And what I love about this case is those beautiful sort of teardrop, or could we say corne de vache, almost type of lugs. But I love the way they integrate with the portion there in the middle, running along the watch. I have to say it integrates better with the watch than the Vacheron corne de vache lugs, which are really just welded on a very simple rounded case. Here the case is really sexy and very slim. The watch wears like a dream, of course. I'll show it on my over my right wrist.
It's a 39.
39? Yeah, it wears very small.
And the thickness is 9.75, so just below 10 millimeter.
Has a sweet spot.
Very sweet spot indeed.
Nice crown, wine's amazing. I think the way it came really together is by vote. In the group, the designer, they probably give some specs to the designer. The designer came up with different ideas, and they voted yes or no. We can talk a bit about the pricing. So the cost is only, and I say only because we're used to MSRPs, right? And then more, and the hype these days and everything is around 10,000 US. But then if this was in a shop and there is some sort of pricing going around in the market for these, it would be 3.5, 4 times the cost itself, which is what you pay when you go and buy your Rolex. The real cost of the brand, it might be 25%, 20%, depends a bit on the watch, the involvement in it, and obviously for a watch has been produced for 20 years, a bit different than a watch that has just been released. That's why when there's a new technology, a new movement, say by Grand Seiko, it will come usually at quite a steeper price, or Rolex will release the first movements in gold watches to recoup quickly a bit more the R&D and everything. But yeah, all in all, I mean, the fair price for this watch would be much higher if it was in a shop where they have very expensive overheads. And it goes to show, what are you buying when you're buying a watch, any watch. We talked with this collector a bit about FP Jaune, and I talked with other collectors about FP Jaune. And 5-6 years ago, it was not easy to sell your FP Jaune. There was not people didn't know first how to price it. Dealers would price it very, very low, would give you like 30 cents on the dollar for it, because they didn't know if anybody would buy it. And then the hype machine started, and a well-known big platform started buying up all of them basically, and now they are trading at multiples of the original MSRP. So it's things I think that you need to reflect on your own, for yourself, when you decide to buy a watch. What is the real value of a watch? What are you paying for? Are you paying for the watchmaking? Are you paying for the collectability? Are you paying for the hype? Right? Some people, billionaires, will pay anything for any independent watch now. Very often they objectively overpay, but then again, if you won't be the one to have one of 50 or from a certain watchmaker, well, you pay for that. You pay for the exclusivity. But here we're talking about the watchmaking, and well, you know all the elements, and you know what it costs, and it's a very interesting thing. And I think they wanted this piece to be at the GPHG, and we would have a good chance to win best watch overall. But the fact that it didn't have an MSRP, wasn't commercialized, did not. I think they couldn't make it happen for that reason. Is that what you understand as well?
Yeah, that's my understanding as well from the nice sharing we had with this collector friend of mine. So yeah, look at this watch. It's amazing what you can put together for that price, like 10,000 USD.
I mean, we are amazed, but we should not be. And I think 10 years ago we would not be. But it begs the question that why are more wealthy collectors commission something like this? I mean, there are wealthy collectors who could definitely have, if the minimum is 50, 70 pieces, who could definitely commission all of them, and there you go, you can have this sort of result. But the next thing is, though, is to market the watch. If you're doing it to sell it, if you're buying them all yourself, and you're doing it to sell it, then you have to market it. These days it's social media. You have to put it on the wrist of influencers to make it a commercial endeavor.
Yeah, it's a very different thing, but let's be honest here, like what this group of collector and watch enthusiasts has put together is truly a source of inspiration. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, even myself, I feel inspired by that. Like they were able to pull this together, and we can potentially expect that other group maybe will feel this inspiration. And I wouldn't be surprised that in the near future, other groups alike will come together and commission similar pieces, like and coming together, trying to put something, design their own. And I surely felt inspired, and just a matter of what is the minimum number of items you need to order to make this happen, right?
It could make some collectors feel a bit silly for spending, hundreds of thousands for something similar. Now, okay, I suppose here the finishing is made by a machine, but I mean, I love the architecture of this movement. I think it's absolutely lovely. But yeah, it does. It's an interesting case of study. I think this LYRIQUE Etude number one. The name itself, number one, could suggest that it could be a number two if it was successful. Of course, it all comes down to the money to launch this project. I think not everybody in the group actually went through with it, purchasing the watch, and some of them could purchase the residuals, and good on them. And it's interesting to see, will this life have this watch have a second life on the secondary market, and where will it be priced? And what's interesting here that we actually know. It's been very publicized, the cost of it, which is different than when you go to a shop and you assume that the $25,000 watch is worth that. You don't really think that to the brand it's maybe worth 50 or 5 or 10,000. So yeah, lots of food for thought, and it would be interesting to see if the group, the LYRIQUE group, thinks about doing something different, and what could it be. And maybe you can dream on along with them what it should be. If it should be a complication or something more simple, even not have the running seconds on it. But all we can say is congratulations to Bill Saunders and everyone in the LYRIQUE group for putting together this beautiful watch, showing the industry something different, showing us all of the watch guys, making us think differently about how watches are made and marketed. And yeah, all in all, at the end of the day, it's just a watch. It's a great watch, and it's a wonderful pleasure to have it in our hands. So again, thank you, Simon. Thank you to our anonymous collector, contributor. And any last words, Simon?
On this one, I'm speechless.
Yeah,
that would be my last word. Just looking at it, brings joy. And being able to hold it today and talk about it was a real pleasure. So big shout out again to our friend, a fellow collector.
And speaking of pleasure, it's time for you to go back to bed.
Yeah.
Thank you for your mighty effort, and maybe your wife is still waiting for you in bed, so you have more work to do. All right, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation, and we'll speak to you very soon again. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.